Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. It's time to kick off a new season, a new series. This time around it's going to orient around trains, so I decided to go with a map that has no water on it whatsoever. This is a dry map. It has the xxeKTC seed, in case you want to use it, and I'll also post this down below in the description for every video. We're running with medium towns and medium industry. Very large map, so hopefully there's going to be quite a bit of opportunity to use trains across greater distances. But that's not the only thing that I will be running with. I'm going to go into the mods, and I want a few of them. I want Production X2. This is a mod that just doubles production and makes it so that, for example, the farms just start out with a double production. This ties in perfectly with the expanded cargo demands. The TLDR for this one is this mod adds additional demands to cities as time passes and your cities grow. So what I want to be doing is making sure that towns get this whole transport network operational and that I can easily tie in additional services or additional supplies to that particular town. In 1850 you'll start with 2 per city as normal. From 1920 an additional 2 demands will begin to form in your cities. Blah blah blah. From 1990, all demands will begin to form in your cities. So with this in mind, your towns can get really, really large. Hopefully this is going to work out pretty well. We shall see how it goes. I'm going to go with a, let's say a more Asian theme, which is going to be quite interesting for me to pronounce the names with. And I'll take Asian vehicles, and I'd say we're ready to go. Alright, so custom settings, start here, 1850, difficulty medium, let's go. Alright guys, welcome to the new map. It's a dry temperate map, or actually a dry map, as we have seen. Lots of pretty flat land. I'm seeing, I think these are the mesas, but I'm not seeing the canyons which were supposedly generated. Let's see what towns we have. This first episode is not probably going to include a lot of building. It's mostly going to be planning, seeing what goes where and how I want to set up my connections. What I ideally want to do is have one town in the middle of the area that is going to be the sort of super hub. That's going to tie in all the rest of the cities. And judging by what I'm seeing right now, I'd say either Jeddah or Chennai might be good contenders, because they have a lot of open area around them. These guys have plenty of opportunity to grow. They also have a lot of area where I can put down a station, and hopefully the station will grow, well actually the town will grow around the station. So with that, more and more people will be using the train station. Now Chennai, however, is not a great start, because they need pretty complex supplies. They need machines and they need goods. That's not ideal. Shenyang needs food. That's a little easier to do. Let's see, where are the people going right now? Just inside the town. Okay. Kaohsiung is a little out of the ways. No, this is going to have to get tied into something else. Let's see. We got Surat over here in the southeast. Guangzhou. This is a pretty easy town to supply. Look at that. Oil well, refinery, fuel refinery. So this can be an interesting first loop that also ties into Guangzhou. They don't need too much, just 67. And unfortunately, of course, I don't really have fast vehicles. I got horse-drawn carriages at this stage. Anyway, this is an interesting opportunity. So that's going to be fuel for Guangzhou. And let's see. For my main transport network. Jeddah, Novosibirsk. This one. This needs construction materials and food, both of which are easy to produce. They are low-tier resources. Doesn't mean that they're easy to find, though. Because you would need a farm and a food processing plant, like this. These two work, and then tie into Beijing. Then they need bricks, aka construction materials, which are definitely not going to be as easy to find, at least not around here. So I could supply Beijing with food. Quezon City. That's a bit out of the way. So I would like to use Jeddah just as a transport hub. So let's say I would use Jeddah as the center of the map. I would then have a line going from southeast to northwest. So let's say Kaohsiung, Shenyang, Ankara, and Hangzhou. Tie Ankara into Jeddah. Make another line from Tainan to Quezon City to Jeddah. Changsha to Osaka and then south to Jeddah. Beijing to Jeddah. Novosibirsk to Jeddah and then potentially, so Jeddah, Novosibirsk, Guangzhou. And Jeddah, Beijing, Yangon. And Jeddah, Chennai, Surat. I think that could work. So connection-wise, I would have 1, 2, 3. Could be even a straight line, by the way. Shenyang, Jeddah, Beijing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ankara potentially 7. That's going to be a lot of tracks. Lots of tracks. Well, it can be done. Jeddah is a pretty nice open town. Has a lot of potential for expansion. The only things that could get in the way are these coal mines and this oil well over here. So these might at some point get, well, absorbed into the town, I guess. And by the way, this is one of those mods that's currently in effect. Production ×2. The coal mine is now producing a hell of a lot more. Of actually, maybe even ×4. Considering the number of coal that's being produced. So that should keep the facilities going for quite a bit. Alright, so Jeddah has 104 occupants. Novosibirsk is the easiest connection for 90. Quezon 59, 100, Beijing at 55. Beijing is really small at this point. Ankara, 212. Is that the biggest town? No, Surat's the biggest town. All the way over there. Okay. How about a first line from Surat to Chennai? 202 to 233. Yeah, this could be an interesting start. So that's going to be a line that starts here, goes to Chennai, and then eventually ends up in Jeddah. But I think that for now, that's a bit too far ahead. Now, the train stations are going to be critical on this map, because they will not only be transporting passengers, but also cargo to and from the towns, depending on what they need. And keep in mind that with that that demand mod, which continues to grow, there will be more and more demands on these towns. So that means more profit opportunities, and as well as more growth. It will also mean that I need more ways of getting stuff into town. So what I want to do early on is just make sure I have a pretty big station, especially in Surat, and bring that to Chennai. So let's say at least one line, probably 2, because this is an end of the line station here, Surat. I might eventually go to Guangzhou. So that would mean I would set up the train station, let's say over here. They don't need food at this point, they don't need fuel, but I might need these factories. The farm. Yeah, we can make planks over here. And then goods over... No, machines over there, eventually, if I also supply steel. Alright, so let's start building. I'm going to do this just one bit at a time. Let's make it a 240 meter station. It's going to start right there. Okay, this track is going to go to Chennai. Or Chennai. I'm sure you guys will be correcting me in the comments about how exactly I should be pronouncing these things. Okay, bypass the what do we call that? The forest over there. Because I still want to be able to tie all of these things into the transport network at some point. Let's set that up. And immediately go with a double line. I know that money can be a bit short at this point, but I think that I'll be able to manage. Okay, so that's one. That's going to go west. I need another line. Another track that's just going to be passing through the station. So there's no actual passenger or other platform over there. Then I will need another track. And I want a passenger platform next to it. So this one's going to go west to, what was it, Shanghai. And one's going to go north to Guangzhou. This also want to tie into that line, if I can. This one ties into here, this one ties into there. And then we're going to have a crossover line so that the trains can go back onto the other line, if possible. This one's going to go north towards Guangzhou, bypassing the forest. Like that. And then I'll also need a cargo platform to offload the cargo. Yeah, a cargo building, just for starters. This is not storage though, is it? Just a small main building. Platform for cargo. It's going to go over there. Whoops. And here and here. Okay. That means that there has to be another track right there. And that track is for offloading cargo. Now, back to track laying. This one's going to also get tied in with this one. This one's going to be the main one out. This is going to be the main one in. Since this is going to be the main one in, it also has to be tied into this line. I don't quite like this. That could cause all sorts of trouble later. Just go straight for a bit. And go straight for a bit. And this one can tie into that, potentially. No? No. Bend not possible, I think. Alright, try again. So that's going to be one cargo out of sorts. This is going to be another cargo out. This is going to be a cargo in. Coming from here. Yeah, these tracks are too close together. It's going to be a bit of experimenting, guys. I'm not that great at track laying. If you want an expert on that field, I recommend you look at Colonel Failure. He really, really knows his stuff when it comes to track laying. Come on, you can fit. Okay. So what's going to happen now is that we have this line in the middle. This is sort of in-between line. This is a later opportunity for growth if I want to start dragging resources away from here. Then we got one line that's going to go over west. It passes through here. And then has to join the outbound line. So that one. That's going to go all the way west to Shanghai. Then we have these cargo lines. One can come in. If it does so, it doesn't have to be tied into this one. It has to be tied into the other one. So there has to be one more crossover point. And I think I just ran out of those. Because there's no more room. Can I set this thing up as a crossover? Yep. This one ties into that. This is going to be one one big mess. Yep. Like that, and then this might not be able to tie into that. Ah, crap. That doesn't quite fit. In that case... This has to be something that I fix right now, otherwise it's going to cause all sorts of trouble later. Come on, tie in. Okay. This line goes there. No, actually this line is supposed to go over there. No, not to the road. It's supposed to go off to the right. Because that's going to be my outbound line. Then we have this line. That's the cargo line in or out, depending on what you're looking at. So that can now cross over. Then we have the line that goes over there. I need to split it up again. And now I can go all the way over here to that other town, which is still way, way off in the distance. Guangzhou. Now I am foreseeing a bit of trouble over here. But I really don't want to be building a bridge at the moment if I don't have to, because it's going to be too expensive. I'm afraid that tunnels aren't going to be much of a cheaper option. But I will have to try and connect these things again. Go down. Oh, come on. Did this thing not go deep enough? Still colliding. Up there. Okay. And now try and bring these things back together. Like that. Oh, that got expensive. Alright, well, so be it. Surat. Time to set up the transport network. Small street. Actually, before I forget, I need to set up a building over here. Tram station. But a pretty elaborate one, because it's also going to be trying to get cargo. Let's remove that road. Let's do it like that. I am expecting this thing to get really quite large. This town. Cargo. And can we get another street access over there? Yep. And now I can just build the rest of the connections here. So a medium street. And hopefully that still ties in. Whoop. Yeah, mostly. It's not stellar, but it works. Oh, you have to be kidding. This is not tied in. There. We'll just have to do it like that. Okay then. Let's set up some lines in Kurat. Starting over here. Let's see. Actually, no, not over there. I'm going to help this town develop a little bit by setting up a couple of lines. Or routes, rather. Upgrade that to that. Buildings. Another one there. Time to build another street. Going this way. And then that way. More buildings. 1, 2. And 1, 2. Alright then. We are starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the Kurat counter... No, this is the Kurat clockwise line, actually. Bus clockwise, and then another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoop. Like that. Alright, Kurat, bus, counterclockwise. Let's set up a bus depot. I might at some point upgrade this to a tram, but for now I think a bus is sufficient. Okay then. What town do I want to tie in first? Quanzhou or Chennai? I think Chennai might be easier because then I can hook it up to Shenyang and or Kaohsiung. So let's continue with these tracks. I can see this becoming a pretty expensive first episode, at least relative to the amount of money that I have. That is not going to come cheap. I'm already down to 2.6. I think by the end, I'll be down to what? 1.2 million? Come on, stick that right next to the other one. That's better. Alright, we're approaching the town, so now it's time to start planning for that town as well. How do I want that to grow? Where do I want my resources to come from? What connections do I want? Chennai is supposed to go to Jeddah. Actually, since I'm already setting up a semi-east-west line, it could be Surat, Chennai, Shenyang, Ankara. Something like that. And then also tie in Shenyang to Kaohsiung. So it would be 1, 2, no, actually 1 and 2. Novosibirsk is going to be accessible through Jeddah. Okay. Train station. Over here. Yeah. Configure. Another track. This is going to be my bypass track. And then another one. And then a passenger platform. And then another set of tracks. And then a cargo platform. Whoa. I'm not sure why it shifts like that. 'Cause, I mean, I can set up tracks here, I think, but why would you want to? Just to tie them in or something. Doesn't really make sense to me. Alright. That's done. One of these is going to be a simple throughput line. In case this train has no business attending this station, it can just pass through. One of them is going to come out of there. Another one come out of there. And that's the cargo line. This should give me plenty of opportunity to tie these things together. For now, I'm more interested in these. Because this is the one that I should be tying into the rest of the station. Or the rest of the line that's coming from there. Okay, cargo line. Let's tie these things together. Like... No, not quite like that. Make it a little longer. Maybe now I can fit it in. Yeah, there you are. Alright, and then I can tie this one into that. And this one into that. Alright, let's set up the line. Starting over in this one, Surat, and going to Chennai. Why did I call that Kurat? It's called Surat. Stealth, not with a Q. Alright, so this is Surat to Chennai. And that's going to start over there. I still need to set up some signaling, because right now the trains are not exactly behaving as I would want them. This is going to be the track that goes that way. This is going to be the one that goes that way. What's it doing now? Okay, now it's taking the leftmost track, going all the way over there. I want you to take a different platform. I want you to take Terminal 1. And I still need one more crossover line. And that should be here. Yeah, there we go. Now I can be running 2 lines on here. Or not 2 lines, multiple trains, I should say. Multiple trains. Alright. I'm down to 490,000. And I still am not quite done, because I still have to set up the infrastructure over here. One of these. Configure. Passenger. Once again, I have to set up a road, otherwise apparently it doesn't quite tie in. Unfortunately. Oh, come on now. Really? You're gonna be like that? Set this up. Alright, so that is the passenger terminals. I can still expand the other way, maybe that would have been easier. Cargo platform. And a second street access. And now I want to tie this into here and there. Okay, so these are now connected. Then, how does Chennai grow? Or rather, how do I want it to grow? Ideally, I would see Chennai as a big, squarey town. So I would do it like that. Go here, pass through the outer layer of the town, and tie it back into that, and then go round. Okay, first stops are going to be over there. Here. 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 And this is going to have to service the majority of the middle part of town. These two are going to be pretty busy, I suspect. Okay, Chennai. Starting here. Counterclockwise. The Chennai bus counterclockwise. And then another one. Chennai bus clockwise. Okay. Now I still need to be able to afford a train. That is going to be pretty important, since I still haven't bought any vehicles. I mean, I can set up these lines all day long, but the problem is, without vehicles, they are just really expensive pieces of infrastructure. So let's set up this. Try and connect that. Like that. Now, what can I afford? No multiple units. Electric, not at all. I got the Russian Class V Type 1, or Class 5 probably. It does a whopping 45 kilometers per hour. And I don't think it's going to be capable of transporting a whole lot, because its power rating is already mediocre. Fortunately, they're not terribly expensive at 219,000. I can add a couple of Nicholas lines, or Nicholas carriages. The thing is, once you add 3, the power drops from mediocre to poor. Great. I'll just take 1 for the moment. And now it's time to get some vehicles in. The bus lines. Cargo. Well, that's easy. I only have 1 option. The Troika. I want to have 2 of these on each line. They can transport a whole 3 people. 3 passengers, mind you. It's almost a taxi at that rate. Over here, same deal. Road depot, a little bit out of the ways. 2 Troika on the Chennai bus counterclockwise and the bus clockwise. Okay, I'd say we're ready. So, Training wheels. Train 1. That does look nice. Now, before I forget, I want to note how these towns started out. Surat's at 233. And then we have Chennai. They're at 192. 192. I just wrote that down so I can see what sort of growth I can expect, or what sort of growth I can realize. We got all these buses of sorts just following each other around at the moment, but they'll probably split up right about now. There you go. This is going to take some time. Before this line's going to get profitable, that's going to take some time. There's definitely demand for it, though. This one has 8 people waiting. And the train is slowly making its way into Surat. Oh, look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. That does look nice. Okay, the train is not particularly quick. But in its defense, it still does 39 out of a top speed of 40. Which is actually better than that train which I had at the final episode of the previous season. That was a high-speed line, and that didn't exactly get up to its its maximum speed, to put it mildly. Now, with this I'm going to leave you. This was episode 1. Episode 2 is probably going to see the connection between Surat and Guangzhou. Reason why I'm going over here, and not from Chennai over to Shenyang, is because this is a bigger town. This is 202, this is 164. So there are more people to transport over here in Guangzhou, and with that I can also make Guangzhou grow because of this little loop that we spotted earlier. Hope you're enjoying so far. Lots more to come. I expect this, considering how complex the train connections are going to be a longer running series than the previous one. But you never know. We'll just have to see how the series plots along. If you have any terrible train puns, because that's going to be the theme of this particular season, let me know. You can post those down below in the link in the description. And that's where I'll find them, and if they get enough upvotes from your fellow viewers, I will get these things used as a title. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall catch you soon on the next episode of Transport Fever 2.